What good habits do you have that are helping you and moving you toward your goals? What bad habits have you developed that may be holding you back? What are your very best qualities of character and personality? What are your weakest qualities? What new habits and qualities do you need to develop to get the very most out of yourself? And what is your plan to begin developing them? What bad habits do you need to get rid of and replace with good habits? There's an old saying, well begun is half done. Doctors say accurate diagnosis is half the cure. Taking the time to honestly evaluate each part of your situation before you launch toward your goal will save you months and even years on your journey. In many cases, it will force you to reevaluate your goals in the light of superior analysis and knowledge. It will dramatically improve the speed at which you achieve your goals once you get going. Chapter 8. Measure your progress. You have incredible mental powers that you habitually fail to use to their full extent. Your conscious mind is the head office of your life. Its role is to deal with the information in your environment and then to identify, analyze, and compare it against other information, and then to decide what actions to take. But it is your subconscious mind that contains the great powers that can enable you to accomplish vastly more than you ever have before. At least 90% or more of your mental powers are below the surface. It is essential that you learn how to tap into these powers to motivate, stimulate, and drive you forward toward the achievement of your goals. Your subconscious mind functions best with clear goals, specific tasks, deliberate measures, and firm deadlines. The more of these with which you program your subconscious computer, the better it functions for you, and the more you will accomplish in a shorter period of time. As you set your goals and begin moving toward them, it is essential that you establish a series of benchmarks or measures that you can use to evaluate your progress day by day and hour by hour. The more clear and specific the measures you set, the more accurate you will be in hitting your targets on schedule. Your subconscious mind requires a forcing system composed of deadlines that you have imposed on yourself for task accomplishment and goal attainment. Without a forcing system, it becomes easy for you to procrastinate and delay, and to put off important tasks until much later, if at all. There are 3 keys to peak performance in achieving your goals. They are commitment, completion, and closure. When you make a firm commitment to achieve a particular goal, and you put aside all excuses, it is very much like stepping on the accelerator of your subconscious mind. You will become more creative, determined, and focused than ever before. Great men and women are those who make clear, unequivocal commitments and then refuse to budge from them no matter what happens. Completion is the second ingredient in peak performance. There is an enormous difference between doing 95% of a task and doing 100% of a task. In fact, it is very common for people to work very hard up to the 90% or 95% level and then to slack off and delay the final completion of the task. This is a temptation that you must fight against. You must continually force yourself, discipline yourself to resist this natural tendency and push through to completion. Every time you complete a task of any kind, your brain releases a small quantity of endorphins. This natural morphine gives you a sense of well-being and elation. It makes you feel happy and peaceful. It stimulates your creativity and improves your personality. It is nature's wonder drug. The more important the task that you complete, the greater is the quantity of endorphin that your brain releases, very much like a reward for success and achievement. Over time, you can actually develop a positive addiction to the feelings of well-being that you receive from this endorphin rush. Even when you complete a small task, you feel happier. When you complete a large task, you feel happier still. When you finish the various steps on the way to the completion of a large task at every achievement, you get an endorphin rush. You feel continuously happy and exhilarated when you are working toward the completion of an important job. Everyone wants to feel like a winner, and feeling like a winner requires that you win. You get the feeling of the winner by completing a task 100%. When you do this repeatedly, eventually you develop the habit of completing the tasks that you begin. When this habit of task completion locks in, your life will begin to improve in ways that you cannot today imagine. In psychology, the reverse is also true. The incomplete action is a major source of stress and anxiety. In fact, much of the unhappiness that people experience is because they have not been able to discipline themselves to follow through and complete an important task or responsibility. If you've ever had a major assignment that you have been putting off, you know what I'm referring to. The longer you wait to get started on an assignment, and the closer the deadline approaches, the greater stress you experience. It can start to keep you up at night and affect your personality. But when you finally launch into the task and push it through to completion, you feel a great sense of relief and well-being. The third C, after commitment and completion, is closure. This is the difference between an open loop and a closed loop. Bringing closure to an issue in your personal or business life is absolutely essential for you to feel happy and in control of your situation. Lack of closure, unfinished business, and incomplete action of any kind are all major sources of stress, dissatisfaction, and even failure in business. They consume enormous amounts of physical and emotional energy. Perhaps the most important ability in the world of work is dependability. There's nothing that will get you paid more and promoted faster than to develop a reputation for getting your tasks done quickly and well and on schedule. Whatever your goals, make a list of all the tasks that you will have to accomplish in the achievement of those goals. Put a deadline on every one of those tasks. Then, work every day and every hour to hit your deadlines. Measure your progress each day as you go along. Speed up or slow down where necessary. But remember, you can't hit a target that you can't see. The greater clarity that you have with regard to deadlines and measures, the more you will accomplish and the faster you will get it done. A goal or a decision without a deadline is merely a discussion. It has no energy behind it. It is like a bullet with no powder in the cartridge. Unless you establish deadlines to which you are committed, you will end up firing blanks in life and in work. Sometimes people ask, what if I set a deadline and I don't achieve the goal by the deadline? Simple. Set another deadline, and then another if necessary. Deadlines are best guess estimates of when the task will be completed. The more you set and work toward deadlines, the more accurate you will become in predicting the time necessary to complete them. You will become better and better at achieving your goals and completing your task on schedule every single time. In each area of your life, analyze your activities carefully and select a specific number that, more than anything else, determines your level of success in that area. Then, focus all of your attention all day long on that specific number. The very act of focused attention will cause you to perform better in that area, both consciously and unconsciously. If you want to be healthier, you could focus on the number of minutes per week that you exercise, or the number of calories per day that you eat. If you want to be successful financially, you can focus on the amount that you earn each hour, or the amount that you save each month. If you want to be successful in sales, you could focus on the number of calls you make each day, or the number of sales, or the size of each sale that you make each month. If you want to be successful in your relationships, you can focus on the number of minutes that you spend face-to-face with the most important people in your life, each day and each week. You've heard the saying, what gets measured gets done. There's another saying, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Your ability to set specific measures on your goals and then to keep an accurate record and track your performance each day will assure that you achieve your goals exactly when you have decided to, or even before. Chapter 9. Remove the roadblocks. How many times do you think that people try to achieve their new goals before they give up? Well, the average is less than one time. Most people give up before they even make the first try. And the reason they give up is because of all the obstacles, difficulties, problems, and roadblocks that immediately appear as soon as you decide to do something that you've never done before. The fact is that successful people fail far more often than unsuccessful people. Successful people try more things, fall down, pick themselves up, and try again over and over again before they win through. Unsuccessful people try a few things, if they try at all, and very soon quit and go back to what they were doing before. You should expect to fail and fall short many times before you achieve your goals. You should look upon failure and temporary defeat as a part of the price that you pay on your road to the success that you will inevitably achieve. As Henry Ford once said, failure is merely an opportunity to more intelligently begin again. Once you have decided upon your goal, ask yourself, why am I not there already? What is holding you back? Why haven't you achieved that goal up to now? Identify all the obstacles that stand between you and your goal. Write down every single thing that you can think of that might be blocking you or slowing you down from moving ahead. Remember, you become what you think about most of the time. In the area of problems and difficulties, successful people have a particular way of thinking that we call solution orientation. Successful people think about solutions most of the time. Unsuccessful people think about problems and difficulties most of the time. Solution-oriented people are constantly looking for ways to get over, around, and past the obstacles that stand in their ways. Problem-oriented people talk continuously about their problems, about who or what caused them, how unhappy or angry they are, and how unfortunate it is that they have occurred. Solution-oriented people, on the other hand, simply ask the question, how can we solve this? And then they take action to deal with the problem. Between you and anything you want to accomplish, there will always be problems or obstacles of some kind. This is why success is sometimes defined as the ability to solve problems. Personal leadership is the ability to solve problems. Effectiveness is the ability to solve problems. All men and women who accomplish anything of importance are people who have developed the ability to solve the problems that stand between them and their goals. One of the most important breakthroughs in thinking in the last few decades was described by Elihu Goldratt in his book The Goal as the theory of constraints. This theory says that between you and anything you want to accomplish, there is a constraint or limiting factor that determines how fast you get to where you want to go. For example, if you're driving down the freeway and there's traffic construction that is narrowing all the cars into a single lane, this bottleneck or choke point becomes the constraint that determines how fast you get to your destination. The speed at which you pass through this bottleneck will largely determine the speed of your entire journey. In accomplishing any major goal, there's always a constraint or bottleneck that you must get through as well. Your job is to identify it accurately and then to focus all of your energies on alleviating that key constraint. Your ability to remove this roadblock or deal with this limiting factor can help you move ahead faster than perhaps any other step you can take. The 80-20 rule says that 80% of your constraints will be within yourself. Only 20% of your constraints will be outside of yourself, contained in other people and situations. To put it another way, it is you personally who is usually the major roadblock that is setting the speed at which you achieve any goal that you set for yourself. For most people, this is hard to accept. But superior people are more concerned with what is right rather than who is right or being right. Superior people are more concerned with the truth of the situation and what they can do to solve the problem than they are with protecting their ego. Ask yourself, what is it in me that is holding you back? Look deep within yourself and identify the key constraints in your personality, temperament, skills, abilities, habits, education, or experience that might be holding you back from achieving the goals that you have set for yourself. Ask the brutal questions. Be completely honest with yourself. The primary obstacles between you and your goals are usually mental. They are psychological and emotional in character. They are within yourself rather than within the situation around you. And it is with these mental obstacles that you must begin if you want to achieve everything that is possible for you. The two major obstacles to success and achievement are fear and doubt. It is first of all the fears of failure, poverty, loss, embarrassment, or rejection that holds the average person back from trying in the first place. This is why the average number of times that a person tries with a new goal is less than one. As soon as he or she thinks of the goal, these fears overwhelm him or her and, like a bucket of water on a small fire, extinguishes the desire completely. The second mental obstacle, closely aligned to fear, is that of self-doubt. We doubt our own abilities. We compare ourselves unfavorably to others and think that others are somehow better, smarter, and more competent than we are. We think, I'm not good enough. We feel inadequate and inferior to the challenges of achieving the great goals that we want so much to accomplish. Fortunately, if there's anything good about doubt and fear, it is that they are both learned emotions. Have you ever seen a negative baby? Children come into the world with no doubts or fears at all. And whatever has been learned can be unlearned through practice and repetition. The primary antidotes to doubt and fear are courage and confidence. The higher your level of courage and confidence, the lower will be your levels of fear and doubt, and the less effect these negative emotions will have on your performance and behavior. The way that you develop courage and confidence is with knowledge and skill. Most fear and doubt arises out of ignorance and feelings of inadequacy of some kind. The more you learn the things you need to know to achieve your goals, the less fear you will feel on the one hand, and the more courage and confidence you will feel on the other. Think about learning to drive for the first time. You were probably extremely tense and nervous and made a lot of mistakes. You may have driven erratically and been a danger to yourself and others. But over time, as you mastered the knowledge and skills of driving, you became better and better, and your confidence increased. Today, you can quite comfortably get into your car and drive across the country with no fear or worry at all. You are so confident at driving that you can do it well without even thinking about it. The same principles apply to any skills you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. Once you've made a list of all the obstacles that are standing in the way of your achieving your major goals, organize the obstacles by priority. What is the largest single obstacle? If you could wave a magic wand and remove one major obstacle from your path, which one obstacle, if removed, would help you the most in moving ahead more rapidly? Management consultant Ian Mitroff has an interesting set of observations with regard to problem solving and the removal of obstacles. He says that, whatever the problem, define it in several different ways before you attempt to solve it. Beware of any problem for which there is only one definition or one solution. When you ask the question with regard to your goal, why am I not there already? What answer comes to mind? What is holding you back? What is standing in your way? It is at this point that you have to drill down to determine the correct obstacle before you begin taking steps to remove it. You do this by asking the question, what else could be the problem? After each definition of the problem. In the book, The McKinsey Way, describing the management consulting practices of McKinsey & Company, the authors point out that one of the greatest wastes of time and money is in applying the wrong solution to the wrong problem in the first place. This can apply to your problems and obstacles as well. By identifying the constraints or reasons that you are not achieving your personal income goals, each definition leads to a different set of solutions. They require that you think in different ways. In your personal life, it's the same. The accuracy with which you identify the obstacles or bottlenecks that are holding you back will determine the appropriateness of the various steps that you can take to remove or alleviate those obstacles. Once you have determined the major obstacle that is holding you back, rewrite that obstacle as a positive goal. For example, you could now say, my goal is to continually upgrade my skills and abilities so that I am in the top 10% of money earners in my field. You then make a list of all the things that you could do to upgrade your knowledge and skills, improve your time management, increase your efficiency and effectiveness, and make more sales for your company. You set deadlines and measures next to each step in your strategy to achieve excellence in your field. You then select one key task and take action on it immediately. From then on, you hold your own feet to the fire. You become your own taskmaster. You discipline and drive yourself to do the things that you need to do to become the kind of person that you need to become in order to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. This exercise of identifying what is holding you back and then setting a clear written goal to remove that obstacle puts you back in control of your own life. By following through on your resolution, you virtually guarantee your ultimate success and the achievement of almost any goal you can set for yourself. If you have any questions or concerns about the accuracy of your problem definition, discuss it with someone you know and trust. Put your ego aside. Invite honest feedback and criticism. Be open to the possibility that you have fundamental flaws and weaknesses that are standing in the way of your realizing your full potential. Be brutally honest with yourself. Once your problem obstacle is clear to you, ideas, opportunities, and answers will come to you from various sources. You will begin to attract into your life all kinds of resources that will help you to overcome the obstacle or difficulty, either within yourself or within the situation around you, and move you more rapidly towards your goal. For every problem or obstacle that is standing between you and what you want to accomplish, there is a solution of some kind somewhere. Your job is to be absolutely clear about what sets the speed at which you achieve your goal, and then to focus your time and attention on alleviating that constraint. By removing your major obstacle, you will often make more progress in a few months than the average person might make in several years. Chapter 10. Become an expert in your field. One of the qualities of top people is that at a certain point in their careers, they decided to commit to excellence. They decided to be the best at what they do. They decided to pay any price, make any sacrifice, and invest any amount of money necessary to become very good in their chosen field. And as a result of this decision, they pulled away from the pack of average performers and moved themselves upward into the income category where today they earn 3, 4, 5, and even 10 times as much as their peers who have not made this commitment. Everyone who is in the top 10% in their field started in the bottom 10%. Everyone who is doing well today was once doing poorly. And even more importantly, whatever others have done within reason, you can do as well. No one is smarter than you, and no one is better than you. People are just better or smarter in different areas. In addition, all business skills are learnable. People who are doing better in some area of business have learned the essential skills in combination with other skills before you have. If you are not achieving what others are achieving, it simply means that you have not learned those skills yet. You can learn anything you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. There are no real limits on what you can accomplish except for the limits that you place on your own mind and imagination. If you decide to become excellent, to join the top 10% of people in your field, there's nothing on earth that can stop you from getting there, except yourself. Once you have decided to become one of the best people in your field, the only question you ask is, how do I achieve it? The very fact that hundreds of thousands and even millions of people have gone from the bottom to the top in every field is ample proof that you can do it as well. Many of these people, if not most of them, may not even have the natural talents and abilities that you have already. In most areas of life, it is more hard work and dedication than natural ability and talent that leads to excellence and great success. You begin your journey to excellence by asking the question, what additional knowledge, skills, and information will I need to lead my field in the months and years ahead? Project yourself forward 3 to 5 years and imagine that you are already one of the very best and highest paid people in your industry. What would have happened? What would you have to have done, learned, or accomplished to reach this point? What skills would you have had to master to lead your field? Here is the great go-forward question for the rest of your working life. What one skill, if you developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would have the greatest positive impact on your career? This becomes your focal point for personal and professional development. Your answer to this question is essential to your achieving excellence in your field. Keep asking yourself, what one skill, if I developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would have the greatest positive impact on my income and on my future in my current job? If you're at all unsure about the answer to this question, go to your boss and ask him or her. Ask your coworkers. Ask your staff. Ask your spouse and your friends.
There's no time to rest.
It's absolutely essential that you find out the answer to this question. What one skill would help you the most? And then focus all of your energies on improving your performance in this particular area. Once you have achieved mastery in your weakest key skill area, you then ask the question again. Now what one skill will help me the most? And whatever your answer to that question, you go to work on that skill until you achieve mastery in that area as well. You are born with certain natural skills, abilities, tendencies, strengths, weaknesses, and talents. These emerge in early life and usually crystallize in your late teens. They don't change very much over the course of your lifetime. One of the most important things you do in your career is to identify what it is that you are really good at, or what it is that you can become good at, and then put your whole heart into becoming excellent in that area. Mary Baker Follet, a management consultant in the 1920s, once wrote, "The very best direction to ride a horse is in the direction it is going. The very best way to develop yourself is in the direction of your natural talents and interests." Jim Cathcart, the author and speaker, says, "Nurture your nature." This is extremely important advice that you should follow throughout your career. You are put on this earth with special talents and abilities that make you unique and different from all other people who have ever lived. Throughout your life, you have often found yourself drawn to an area of activity where your special talents and abilities have enabled you to accomplish more and to enjoy what you are doing at a higher level than anything else you could do. One of your great goals in life is to identify and isolate one or two things that you can do better and enjoy more than anything else, and then concentrate on becoming absolutely excellent in those areas. Michael Jordan, the basketball player, once said, "Everybody has talent, but ability takes hard work." The poet Longfellow once wrote, "The great tragedy of the average man is that he goes to his grave with his music still in him." You could struggle for years at a job for which you were ill-suited, and then find yourself in the perfect field and make more progress in a couple of years than you had made in the 20 years preceding. Most self-made millionaires say, "I never worked a day in my life."
I wish only.
What they did was to find out what they really enjoyed, and then they did more and more of it. There are 8 ways for you to identify and determine your special talents and what you are uniquely suited to do. Here they are. First, you will always be the best and happiest at something that you love to do. If you could afford it, you would do it without pay. It brings out the very best in you, and you get a tremendous amount of satisfaction and enjoyment when you are engaged in that particular work. Second, you do it well. You seem to have a natural ability to perform in that area. Third, this talent has been responsible for most of your success and happiness in life, ups and downs. From an early age, it is something that you have enjoyed to do and from which you got the greatest rewards and compliments from other people. Fourth, it is something that it is easy for you to learn and easy to do. In fact, it was so easy to learn that you actually forgot when and how you learned it. You just found yourself doing it easily and well one day. Fifth, it holds your attention. It absorbs you and fascinates you. You like to think about it, read about it, talk about it, and learn about it. It seems to attract you like a moth to a flame. Sixth, you love to learn about it and become better at it all your life. You have a deep inner desire to really excel in this particular area.
No problem.
Seventh, when you do what you're ideally suited to do, time stands still. You can often work in your area of special talent for long periods without eating or sleeping, hour after hour, because you get so involved in it. At 8, you really admire and respect other people who are good at what you are most suited to do. You want to be like them and to be around them and to emulate them in every way. If the above descriptions apply to anything that you are doing or anything that you have done in the past, they can lead you into what you were uniquely put on this earth to do, to your heart's desire. It is quite common that if you are weak in a particular skill, you will avoid taking action in that skill. You will fall into the trap of learned helplessness. You will say, I'm not really very good in that area, or I don't have any natural talent or ability in that skill. But this is merely rationalization and justification. If the skill is important enough to you, you can learn it. The very worst decision of all is for you to allow yourself to be held back for months or years because you lack a single, simple skill that is readily learnable through dedication and determination. Don't let this happen to you. It is not practice that makes perfect. It is imperfect practice that eventually makes perfect. Whenever you start something new, you can expect to do it poorly. You will feel clumsy and awkward at first. You will feel inadequate and inferior. You will often feel silly and embarrassed. But this is the price that you pay to achieve excellence in your field. You will always have to pay the price of success in advance, and that price often involves the hard work of mastering a difficult skill that you need to move to the top of your field. Imagine that you could wave a magic wand and be absolutely excellent at any particular skill. What would it be? If you could wave a magic wand and have any wish at all with regard to your talents and skills, what would you wish for? Whatever your answer to these questions will often be an indication of the new goals that you have to set with regard to the skills and abilities that you need to develop to be the best at what you do. Become a lifelong do-it-to-yourself project. Be prepared to invest 1, 2, or 3 years to become absolutely excellent in a critical area.
Ready to ride.
Be willing to pay any price, to make any sacrifice to be the best at what you do. The more you practice what you are learning, the faster you will become competent and skilled in that area. The more you practice, the more confidence you will develop. The more you practice, the more rapidly you will overcome your feelings of inadequacy in that skill, and the faster you will master it. The more you practice, the more rapidly you will add that skill to your mental toolbox, where you will possess it for the rest of your career. Resolve today, right now, to join the top 10% of people in your field.
Welcome to
Determine who they are, what they earn, and what they do differently from you. Determine the special knowledge and skills that they have developed and resolve to develop them in yourself. Remember, anything that anyone else has done within reason, you can do as well. No one is better than you, and no one is smarter than you. The very fact that the top people in your field were at one time not even in your field at all is proof that whatever they have achieved, you can achieve yourself if you simply set it as a goal and work at it long enough and hard enough. There are no real limits. Chapter 11. Associate with the right people. Everything in life and business is relationships. Everything you accomplish or fail to accomplish will be bound up with other people in some way. Your ability to form the right relationships with the right people at every stage of your life and career will be the critical determinant of your success and achievement, and will have an inordinate impact on how quickly you achieve your goals. The more people you know and who know you in a positive way, the more successful you will be at anything you attempt. One person at the right time in the right place can open a door for you that can change your life and save you years of hard work. A key part of goal setting is for you to identify the people, groups, and organizations whose help you will require to achieve your goals. To accomplish goals of any kind, you will need the help of lots of people. Who are they? There are three general categories of people whose help and cooperation you will require in the years ahead. These are the people in and around your business, your family and friends, and people in groups and organizations outside your business or social circle. You need to develop a strategy to work effectively with each group. Start with your business. Who are the most important people in your business life? What is your plan to develop higher quality relationships with them? Make a list of everyone who works inside and outside of your business, your boss, your colleagues, co-workers, subordinates, and especially your customers, suppliers, and vendors. Which of these people have the greatest ability to help you or hurt you in the achievement of your business or career goals? Sometimes I ask my audiences, how many of the people present are in customer service? Only a few hands go up. I then point out that everyone is in the business of customer service, no matter what they call it or what they do. A customer can be defined as anyone who you depend upon for success and advancement in your job or business. A customer can also be defined as anyone who depends on you in any way. By this pair of definitions, almost everyone around you is a customer in some way. For example, your boss is your primary customer at work. Your ability to satisfy your boss will have more of an impact on your future, your income, and your career than any other single action you take. If you displease everyone else but your boss is delighted with you, you will be safe and secure in your job. If you please everyone inside and outside your company, but your boss is unhappy with you, that problem alone can short-circuit your future. Your co-workers who also depend on your work are your customers as well. Go to each one of them and ask them if there's anything that you can do to help them. Ask them if there's anything that you could do more of, less of, start or stop that would help them to do their jobs better. The fact is that people think about themselves and their own jobs all day long. Anytime you offer to help someone do his or her job better or faster, he or she will be wide open to helping you later. You should look for every opportunity in your work to help people and do nice things for other people. Every honest effort you make to help other people will come back to you in some way, at some time, and often when you least expect it.
How may I
The
serve?
most popular people in every organization are those who are always willing to lend a helping hand. The more the people next to you, above you, and below you like you and support you, the more you will get paid and the faster you will be promoted. Look for ways to be a valuable resource to the people around you, and they will automatically look for ways to help you and support you when you most need it. Perhaps the most important quality you can develop for long-term success in your business is that of being a good team player. In a multi-year study at Stanford University, researchers found that the ability to function well as part of a team was the most outwardly identifiable quality of a person who was marked for rapid advancement. Team dynamics are very interesting. First of all, 20% of the team members do 80% of the work. The other 80% contribute very little to the meetings and very seldom raise their hands or volunteer for anything. Your job is to be a member of the top 20%. To be a good team player, always come prepared to every meeting. Sit opposite and in direct eye contact with the person who is running the meeting. Speak early and ask questions. Volunteer for assignments. And when you offer to do something, do it quickly and well. You can create a positive, attractive force field of energy around you by developing a reputation for being the person that everyone can depend upon to get the job done. As a result, you will be given more and bigger jobs, and both the authority and the rewards that go along with those jobs. Take time to get to know your subordinates and the people who are below you on the corporate ladder. Talk to them and ask them questions. Offer to help them if you can. Be especially kind and courteous with them. Go out of your way to compliment them and recognize them for their work. You will be amazed at the difference this makes in your career.
I am ready.
In every organization, the person who knows the most people is usually the person who rises to the top. Initially, it may seem that relationship building takes a lot of time, but it will pay for itself over and over again in the months and years ahead. Outside of your business, you should get involved with your industry and with your industry associations. The most successful executives and sales professionals network regularly with other business people. They keep expanding their professional contacts and friendships. Look at the business organizations in your community. Select one or two organizations that contain people that it would be helpful for you to know in the years ahead. Attend their meetings and introduce yourself to them. Once you have decided that it would be useful for you to be a member of one of these organizations, join up and begin attending every meeting. There is a rule that says, the more you give of yourself with no expectation of return, the more that will come back to you from the most unexpected sources. No effort that you make to expand your contacts will ever be completely lost. Like seeds, various contacts have different periods of germination. Some will yield results immediately. Some will not yield results for many months or even years. You must be prepared to be patient. Dr. David McClelland of Harvard University did many years of research into the qualities and characteristics of high achievers in our society. What he found was that your choice of a reference group, the people with whom you habitually associate, was more important in determining your success or failure than any other single factor. Get around the right people. Make it a point to associate with the kind of people that you like, admire, respect, and want to be like sometime in the future. Associate with the kind of people that you look up to and would be proud to introduce to your friends and associates. The choice of a positive, goal-oriented reference group can do more to supercharge your career than any other factor. The third category of people whose help and cooperation you will require are your family and friends. As Benjamin Disraeli said, no success in public life can compensate for failure in the home. It is vital that you invest all the time and emotion necessary to build and maintain a high-quality home life. When your family life is solid and secure, characterized by warm, loving relationships, you will do better in everything else in the outer world. But if something goes wrong with your home life because of inattention or neglect, it will soon affect your results at work in a negative way. Problems at home distract your attention and drain your energy. They can often sabotage your career. Once you have decided upon the people, groups, and organizations whose help and cooperation you will need to achieve your goals, resolve to become a relationship expert. Always treat people with kindness, courtesy, and compassion. Practice the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Above all, the simplest strategy is to treat everyone you meet, at home or at work, like a $1 million customer. Treat the other person as though he or she is the most important person in the world. Treat them as though they were capable of buying $1 million worth of your product or service. Every day, in every way, look for ways to lighten the load and help other people to do their jobs better and live their lives more easily. This will build up a great reservoir of positive feeling toward you that will come back to benefit you year after year. Chapter 12. Make a plan of action. Your ability to set goals and make plans for their accomplishment is the master skill of success. There's no other skill that will help you more in fulfilling your potential, in achieving everything that you are able to accomplish, than developing this skill. Some time ago, Inc. magazine reported on a study they had conducted of 50 startup companies. Half of these companies had spent several months and even more to develop complete business plans before they began operations. The other half of this group had started without detailed business plans and were simply reacting to events as they occurred in the day-to-day operations of the business. 2 to 3 years later, the researchers went back to determine the levels of success and profitability of these companies. What they found was quite interesting. The companies that had started operations with clear, written business plans, carefully thought through and detailed in every respect, were vastly more successful and profitable than those companies that had started spontaneously and had made things up as they went along. The companies that had started on the back of an envelope, where the founders were too busy to sit down and do the detailed work of strategic planning, were almost all floundering. Many of them were already bankrupt and had gone out of business. But here was the interesting discovery. When they interviewed the business founders, they asked them, how often do you refer to your strategic plan in the day-to-day operations of your business? In almost every case, the entrepreneurs and executives running the businesses had not looked at the strategic plan since it had been completed some months ago. Once it was done, they put it in a drawer and seldom revisited it until the following year, when they went through the strategic planning process again. The most important finding was this. The plan itself was seldom referred to, but the process of thinking through the key elements of the business was vital to their success. It is the exercise of working through and discussing every key element of the business plan that is more important than any other step at the beginning. From the first day that you begin actual business operations, the situation will change so rapidly that your plan will become obsolete in many respects within a few days or even a few hours. But it is the process of planning that is most important. Scott McNeely of Sun Microsystems says, in a startup business, you have to throw out all assumptions every 3 weeks. There is a 6P formula for personal and business success. It is proper prior planning prevents poor performance. There are 7 advantages to proper prior planning. Here they are. First, the planning process forces you to organize your thinking and identify all the key issues that must be dealt with if you are ultimately going to be successful. Second, thinking through what you must do to accomplish your goals enables you to plan your actions carefully before you begin, thereby saving you enormous costs of time, people, and money. Third, a good plan, thoroughly discussed and evaluated, enables you to identify flaws and errors that could prove fatal to your business later on. It enables you to ask what-if questions. For example, what are the worst possible things that could happen if you were to take a particular course of action? The fourth benefit of proper prior planning is that it enables you to identify weaknesses in your plan and to make provisions to compensate for those weaknesses. Fifth, planning enables you to identify strengths and potential opportunities that you can take advantage of to increase the likelihood of success. Often, you will be unaware of your particular strengths, or the opportunities that exist in the situation before you go through the planning process. The sixth benefit of planning is that it enables you to focus your time and money and concentrate all of your resources on the one or two objectives that you must achieve to make the enterprise successful. In the absence of clear focus and concentration, you will tend to spread your energies over a wide area and end up accomplishing very little. The seventh benefit of proper planning is that it will inevitably save you hours, weeks, and months of confusion, mistakes, and losses of both money and energy. In many cases, as the result of careful planning and analysis, the decision makers will realize that it is not possible to achieve a particular goal with the time or resources available, or under the existing circumstances. Sometimes the very best business deals in your career are the ones that you don't get into in the first place. In its simplest form, a plan is a list of every activity that you will have to engage in from the beginning to the end in accomplishing a specific goal or objective. To begin the process of planning, you take a sheet of paper and you make a list of everything that you can think of that you will have to do to achieve your goal. As you think of new items, add them to the list. Continually revisit your list and revise the items and steps as you get more information. This list becomes your blueprint for completing your ideal goal or result. Now, organize your list by priority and sequence. Organize the items on your list by priority by determining which tasks or activities are more important than other tasks or activities. Organize the items from number 1, the most important, all the way through to the least important. Organize your list by sequence as well. In sequencing, you determine which activities need to be done before or after other activities. Often, one task cannot be accomplished until another task has been completed. Sometimes, the accomplishment of a single task can be the bottleneck or choke point in the entire process. Often, the success of the plan will be determined by the achievement of a particular goal or objective within the plan. It may be the completion of construction on a new office, store, or factory. It may be the date of delivery of the first finished product or service. It may be the achievement of a particular level of sales by a specific date. It could be the hiring of a key person for an essential job. The planning process helps you to identify the vital elements of the plan and focus more of your time and attention on the most important tasks and activities that must be accomplished before success is possible. No plan is perfect the first time it is created. Most plans to accomplish something new will fail over and over again at the beginning. This is to be expected. Your ability to accept feedback and make corrections to your plans of activity is vital to your success. Keep asking, what's working and what's not working? Be more concerned with what's right rather than who's right. Remember the old saying, back to the drawing board. Whenever your plan doesn't work, relax, take a deep breath, and revisit your plan. What are the critical results that you must accomplish at each step of the way to achieve your final goal? How can you plan them, prioritize them, and assure that they are completed on schedule? What is your plan if things go wrong? What will you do if it takes much longer and costs much more to achieve your critical objectives on your way to the goal? What is your fallback plan? The good news is that the very act of planning improves and streamlines the entire process of goal achievement. The more often and more carefully you plan before you begin, the better you will get at the planning process overall. The better you get at planning, the more ideas and opportunities you will attract to you to plan and achieve even bigger and better things. Your ability to decide exactly what you want, to write it down, to make a plan, and then execute that plan is the key to personal effectiveness and high achievement.
Rest.
These are all learnable skills that you can master. In no time at all, you can transform your life or business, double your sales or profitability, achieve your goals, and fulfill your true potential.
Where shall
Chapter
my blood
13.
be spilled?
Manage your time well. To achieve all your goals and become everything you are capable of becoming, you must get your time under control. Psychologists generally agree that a sense of control is the key to the feelings of happiness, confidence, power, and personal well-being, as we've discussed before. And a sense of control is only possible when you practice excellent time management skills. If the front side of the coin of success is the ability to set clear goals for yourself, then the flip side of the same coin is the ability to get yourself organized and working on your most important tasks every minute of every day. Your choices and decisions have combined to create your entire life to this moment. To change or improve your life in any way, you have to make new choices and new decisions that are more in alignment with who you really are and what you really want. The starting point of time management is for you to determine your goals and then to organize your goals by priority and value. You need to be absolutely clear at any given moment exactly what is most important to you at that time. At one moment, your goal could be a business, financial, or career goal. Later, it could be a family or relationship goal. On still another occasions, it could be a health or fitness goal. Time management begins with clarity. You take the time to sit down with a piece of paper and think through exactly what it is you want to accomplish in each area of your life. You decide upon your ultimate long-term goals of financial success, family success, or personal health and fitness. Once you are clear about the targets you are aiming at, you then come back to the present and plan every minute and hour of every day so that you accomplish the very most that you possibly can with the time allocated to you. The basic tool of time management is a list, organized by priority and used as a constant tool for personal management. The fact is that you can't manage time. You can only manage yourself. That is why time management requires self-discipline, self-control, and self-mastery. Time management requires that you make the best choices and decisions necessary to enhance the quality of your life and work, and then you follow through on your decisions. You should plan your life with lists of long-term, medium-term, and short-term goals and projects. You should plan every month in advance with a list of the things you want to accomplish during that month. You should make a list of every step in each multitask job that you want to complete, and then organize that list by priority and sequence. In the process of managing your time, you must separate the urgent from the important. Urgent tasks are tasks that are in your face. They are determined by external pressures and requirements. They are things that you must do immediately. Most people spend most of their days responding and reacting to urgent tasks in the form of telephone calls, interruptions, emergencies, and the demands of your boss and your customers. Important tasks, on the other hand, are those tasks that can contribute the very most to your long-term future. Some of these tasks may be planning, organizing, studying, researching your customers, and setting priorities before you begin. Then there are tasks that are urgent but not important, such as a ringing telephone or a coworker who wants to chat. Because these activities take place during the workday, it's easy to confuse them with real work. The difference, however, is that they produce no results. No matter how many urgent but unimportant activities you engage in, you contribute nothing to your work or your company. The fourth category of tasks includes those that are neither urgent nor important, like reading the paper at work or going for a long lunch. These activities are positively harmful to your career because they consume time that you could be using to get the results for which you are paid and upon which your future depends. The most important word in determining the value of a particular task or activity is the word consequences. A task that is valuable and important is a task that has serious consequences for completion or non-completion. The greater the possible consequences of a task or activity, the more important it is. A task for which there are few, if any,